Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep gang, my favorite day of the week. Flashback Fridays, man. Friday. Technically on my end it's Saturday, but I couldn't make this video yesterday because some nigga just couldn't make it happen, man. But we going back, man. I want to talk about Parnell Whitaker versus Oscar Dela Hoya for the day, man. I know it was a lot of controversy surrounding this fight. I know I've came across a few people who said, "Oh man, he beat Dela Hoya's ass." My coach is one of them. My coach is one of them. It was a damn good fight, real entertaining fight, man. One thing I did notice that Parnell Whitaker early on in the fight was able to establish the jab, man. He was able to establish the jab and punch to the lead hand of Oscar De La Hoya and spin him off of the jab. And he did that really well early on in the fight. And he was able to, that was able to open up some big left hands landing for him. Some lead right hooks landing for him. Jabbing, he was jabbing, the jab was landing often in that fight for Parnell Whitaker. It was a real good fight, man. But I think it was a lot of back and forth up until I want to say like the 6th or 7th round. Oscar De La Hoya was there was a lot, like I said, it was literally a lot of give and take in that fight, man. Oscar De La Hoya, I think a lot of where in the early rounds in which he was winning, it was a lot of it was a lot of flurrying and just big activity on behalf of Oscar De La Hoya. Some shots would land and get in, some straight right hands, some lead left hooks, some jabs. But it's like when Floyd, I think he was able to compile all them rounds up he got against Floyd because of his activity, as opposed to the shots actually connecting. And I think that was the same here as well, because Parnell Whitaker was just he's just so fucking slippery. He's extremely slippery in the pocket or on the outside. But it was a lot of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I think where you started to see the fight change is when Oscar decided to switch southpaw. When he started to switch southpaw, that's when you started to see the dynamics really begin to change, because Parnell Whitaker couldn't cut that angle. He couldn't spin out he couldn't spin him no more. He couldn't circle jab to his lead right hand. He couldn't do it no more. Now if you try to spin out, or if you try to spin me off of the jab, I'm gonna run you into a left hand. It's something there for you to run into. And that's when you kind of started to see he neutralized that. He blanketed that particular advantage that Parnell Whitaker had early on in the fight. He did that. And when it would get on the inside, it would be a lot of rumbling, like wrestling and tussling for position and all that, and a lot of body work as well. And you start to see Parnell Whitaker start to somewhat slow down. He isn't as fleet-footed. He isn't throwing as many combinations. He's looking to land one shot. You've seen that, and I think that was a result of that. And to a point, when Oscar went back to the conventional stance, Parnell Whitaker just wasn't as fast on his feet as he was early on in the fight. He didn't have the speed advantage anymore. As far as his feet are concerned, he didn't have the intelligent feet or the educated feet to get to where, to get in a position where he could early on in the fight. And I think Oscar switched it in the way that he did. It wasn't prolific with it or nothing like that, but it was enough to neutralize Parnell Whitaker's attack. And it hindered him enough to where he didn't do it as often as he did early on in the fight when he did go back to the conventional stance. So it's a lot of back and forth between the two of them. A lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't think anybody won a string of rounds until Oscar did in, was it the 6th and the 7th? If I'm not mistaken, about the 6th and the 7th. It may have even been the 7th and the 8th. And then Parnell Whitaker scored the knockdown, and you know that once again closed the gap in the fight. And Oscar just simply finished strong, man. Personally, I had it about 7-5 personally, man. I think Oscar, homeboy got slumped. But I think Oscar later on down the stretch, he started finding he started closing the distance from the outside and the inside. You know, if you follow the sport, you know what that means. It's not necessarily getting in, you know, literally closing position where you're in distance. You know, it's variables depending on how, you know, in which you use that particular slogan. And in this situation, closing distance was just him finding his range, landing the shot landing on the target, flush on the target, closing the distance where it's not catching the glove, it's not catching the shoulder, it's not catching air, it's catching the chin, it's catching the jaw, it's catching the forehead, the eye, the nose. And he started to do all of that, man. He started to land the combination, man. Little short 2 or 3 shot bursts of combinations, man. You know, he couldn't load up and hit him with just a flurry of shots. You're not doing that with Parnell Whitaker. That's one of the greatest defensive fighters ever. One of the greatest defensive fighters ever. But he was able to, you know, he started, you know, leading with the left hook, throwing the right hand off of the left hook, and connected. And connected. He did that pretty consistently throughout the duration of the second half of the fight. And Parnell, once again, you know, he went back. He got a little bit. He seemed a little bit more gassed, to where he was looking to launch that left hand down the middle and landed effectively, and it would just be one single shot. So I think a lot of it was just due to him getting outworked by Oscar Dela Hoya. Nonetheless, it was a great fight. Classic fight, man. I enjoyed it, man. I thought Oscar Dela Hoya did, you know, that just, you know, that's a testament to how great he is, or how great he was. Dude was an incredible talent, man, and so was Parnell Whitaker, man. I'm not mad at anybody who had Parnell Whitaker winning that fight. I'm not mad at anybody who has it a draw. I wouldn't argue against it at all. Personally, I just think he started to fade just slightly down the stretch. And as he started to fade, Oscar Dela Hoya started finding his rhythm, started finding his range, started picking his shots better, setting his shots up better. It wasn't just one shot in particular that he was looking to land. They were both really, you know, they were both pumping the jab. They were both pumping the jab. That's why it pisses me off when people say Oscar Dela Hoya didn't have a good jab. Or you'll try to argue down the fact that he had a good jab. I think Oscar Dela Hoya had a real good jab. He just had a better left hook. That's what he was known for, his devilish left hook. That doesn't mean you don't have a jab, nigga. The fuck? Niggas is dumb. But it was a really good fight, real entertaining fight. You know, a legacy-defining fight. You know, like I said, man, it's hard to hit a dude like Parnell Whitaker. It's hard to hit him, especially at the middle of the ring, man. And Oscar Dela Hoya started catching him in, mid-ring. It's not like he was trapping him on the ropes and unloading. Even when, you know, when Parnell Whitaker will find his way on the ropes, he's slippery. He's slippery as all hell. So if you can clip him at the middle of the ring, that's a testament to who you are. Good shot. So, yeah, me personally, I did have Oscar Dela Hoya winning this fight, man. I thought it was a real competitive and entertaining fight. Really competitive fight. The shoe shining, the inside fight. You know, early on they got booed, but you know, when the nerves settle and you know you get your composure back. All right, cool. Now we looking to fight in here. You know, sometimes you gotta go. You gotta go with it. You gotta shoot. You gotta brick. You gotta shoot, you gotta shoot, you gotta shoot. And when that shot finally drops, all right, cool. Now you can shoot with a lot more confidence. You ain't shooting just to get some shots up there to knock the cobwebs off. Now you shooting because you like, all right, I found my stroke now. So we good. And that's what that was, man. They had to go in there and wrestle and tussle just a little bit. And when they finally knocked them cobwebs off, here we go. It's off to the races. But yeah, man, it was a bullshit stat in there. I think that Oscar Dela Hoya landed like 80 power punches, and nah, you're not about to sit there and land 80 power punches on a 33-year-old Parnell Whitaker. No, I don't think so. People really be acting like 33. You washed when you're 33. You know he was still a high caliber fighter. Clearly, man, he has an argument that he won that fight. He has a bigger argument if it was a draw, because of the, you know, that them deducting a point from him. But that was a damn good fight, man. That was a damn good fight. I just didn't agree with that 80 plus power punches landed. Like, nah. I mean, you know, you count body shots. You count body shots, you dig? And it is, you know, the CompuBox numbers get a little skewed because they're being seen through human eyes. It's not anything as thorough as somebody having, you know, cameras in their system or cameras in the gloves or whatever it is, tally up a shot that's landed flush on the body. I've seen, you know, Earl Spence and Sean Porter is indicative of that. Motherfuckers just counting shit just because it, you know, it landed, but it didn't land in a scoring area. It landed on the arm. It landed on the glove. You dig? It landed low. So, you know, you got to be real careful when you look at, you know, when you put your faith into these CompuBox numbers, because a lot of the time it be fraudulent as fuck. But great fight nonetheless, man. Rest in peace to Parnell Whitaker, man. We really lost a great with that brother right there, man. Really fundamentally sound fighter. Incredibly, immaculately defensive fighter. Just the dude was just a gem, man. He was really entertaining. The showboating, you know. If you don't hold your composure when you miss him, you know, he's gonna stun on you. And when he stun on you, if you a dude who, you know, who get rattled easily because a nigga stunting on you, you're gonna open yourself up to get beat up. So, you know, peace to the guy Parnell Whitaker, man. Damn good fight. But I did think Oscar did enough to squeeze out the fight in a really close bout, 7-5. 7-5. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Like and subscribe. Peace.